It is now 4 p.m. on October 23rd, 2024. And so I'm going to call the Sumner County Library Personnel Committee meeting to order. And we're going to take roll call. Kaylee Wilson.
Erica Grammer.
Jim Holcomb.
Jackie Wilburn.
And Joanna Daniels, Chair. All right. We're going to start off with an invocation. Please bow your heads. Heavenly Father, we come before you right now, amazing Almighty God, and we thank you for your many blessings, Lord. We thank you, Lord, for this absolutely beautiful day. We thank you, Lord, for your Son dying for us. And we thank you, Lord, that we have a place to come together, Lord, to glorify you and to serve you, Lord. I pray right now that everything that happens in this meeting is to glorify you. We pray, Lord, for your blessing, your favor upon this meeting. And we just pray that you are here with us. We pray the Holy Spirit. Pray this in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Next, we're going to move on to approval of agenda. I'd like to make a motion to move something around because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people speaking on behalf of Gabby. And I know that we have Alicia first, but I'm just thinking if we put Gabby first, then that way everyone that is here to speak can enjoy the rest of their evening.
Sure. Yeah.
Go home.
Makes sense.
So I just would like to make a motion or entertain a motion to put Gabby before Alicia.
So moved. Yeah.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Erica, and all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay. All right, so now we'll move on to the approval of the agenda as approved. As amended, sorry, Lord.
We know what you meant.
Okay. All
So
right.
moved.
So moved, Jim. Second by Jackie. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, wonderful. All right, so we are changing that to Gabby. Okay. Now we are going to move on to public recognition. Due to the time constraints of the building, we're actually supposed to be out here by 5:30, so it's already 4, and we do have 2 going on. We have, as we said, 10 people speaking. I'm going to ask that you please keep your comments to 30 minutes, because that's already going to be 30 minutes of comments, so we're going to have to move really quickly. And if you can keep it below 3 minutes, it would be great, because our janitor likes to get out of here at 5:30. Okay, and I will have a timer for you. Let me go ahead and get the first timer, and we're looking for a Mr. Jeff. I'm really bad with the last names. Kreider?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. If you'd like to come up. And please state your name and your address for the record, please.
Okay. My name is Jeff.
Oh, Jeff, we're going to have you come on up here so we all can see you and hear you.
My name is Jeff Kreider. I live at 130 College Street, Gallatin. I moved here 3 years ago from the Atlanta area, and I retired and spent many years doing marketing. And I want to start out by talking a little bit about pie charts. And my first experience with the library was in a little town I grew up in Illinois in the 1950s. And the pie chart for activities and events and programming was basically 3 parts. And it was like 75% of book checkout and probably 20% information. Go and ask questions, get help with information, using the card catalog, the 3x5 index cards. And then maybe 5% was like community events. And the only one I remember is standing in line outside around the block for the polio vaccine in the late 50s. So there's been a lot of changes since then. And I want to talk about Gabby and being a volunteer and a patron at the library. What I want to talk about is her leadership capabilities in 3 areas. And one of them is the way that she sets a tone or a personality or kind of a spirit about the library in Gallatin. And my experience is that it's a very upbeat and very personable and very positive spirit that she sets. The word that comes to mind is kindness. And even last year, walking around downtown, the various employees did paintings on the inside of the windows facing Main Street. And when you look at them, each painting had a letter, so it spelled out "be kind." And then the employees did like kind of reverse images from the inside of Bob Ross and David Attenborough and Dolly Parton and Mr. Rogers. And it was like, be kind, with your music, be kind with your art, be kind with our planet, and so on. And that idea of kindness is something that I really see and respect in her leadership. There's a kind of major spirit. There are two other kind of spirits or tones. One is community, of course, and one is joy. Just the kind of joy of learning at whatever stage we are. People are targeted by, age groups generally. I'm a senior, and so I've benefited from programming around University of Tennessee course on like shopping for groceries and recipes and movement. And I just really appreciate, what she's done about those areas. Being involved in marketing, I also appreciate cross-marketing. And it was kind of a wonder to behold last month, which was Library Sign Up and Get New Cards Month. And she and the team had gone out to probably 8 or 10 businesses in Gallatin. I'm sorry.
We're gonna have 3 minutes. That's your 3 minutes, honey. Thank you so much. I
Thanks.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. We're gonna call Mary Brightyoung, please.
I've given Jeff some of my time. Although it's funny because his remarks and mine seem to echo a lot of what I'm thinking of with Gabby. My name's Mary Bright Young. I live at 1108 Innswood Drive, Gallatin. I've been a patron of the Gallatin Library since the 70s. I've been on the board of the Friends. I've been on the Friends board since 1999. So I've seen a lot of growth, a lot of changes, and a lot of positive things. Under the leadership of Gabby Cato, the library is a fixture of the Gallatin community. The monthly calendar that they publish shows the wealth of programs that are offered and reflects the different groups that are served. Gabby creates a warm and wonderful atmosphere that trickles down through her members of her staff. She makes the library a shining light for the community. The library serves not only children of all ages, adults who are avid readers, art lovers, craft hobbyists, retirees, and lonely people, and also newcomers to our community and the local businesses, which I believe Jeff was fixing to talk about a little bit. We can be so proud of Gabby's leadership and her organizational skills. She has clearly lived up to the vision and expectation of her patrons. That's it for the 3 minutes.
You did it. Great
Thank you,
job.
ma'am.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. All right. And we're going to call up Jill Fernelius. Fernelius? Okay. Awesome. Hold on 1 second. Okay.
All right, my name is Jill Cornelius, and I'm 180 Cobbler in Hendersonville. I'm here today to voice support of the library directors, currently under performance review. It is my ask that the board provide a stellar review to them and show immense gratitude for the public service that they provide as evident to any patron who walks into their respective facilities. Many have successfully attracted large donations used to improve county facilities or provide improved services to Sumner residents, helped in seeking additional grants, organize and manage incredible community events, have the full adoration of their respective friends boards, showcase talent of people who live here in Sumner, and are beloved by those who work with them day in and day out. I felt the need to come here and make this statement publicly because I'm scared for them. The last time I spoke to the board was in November of last year. after reviewing the library director evaluation policy that detailed 89 points of compliance, of which none related to the level of literacy. As a working professional who has dealt with performance reviews since I was a teenager, the policy came off as autocratic and seemed to prioritize the director's time to fully and enthusiastically support board decisions over serving the community in library operations. I'm not sure what happened to that policy or if it remains in effect for today's conversations, but watching certain board meetings since then only really feeds my fear for the directors. Specifically, the board's lack of diverse representation, rejecting library book donations, making select services contingent on opening a library card, and making those with credentials to offer said services pay out of their own pocket has been disappointing. As I've shared with the county commissioners, the community really does deserve a library board that fully and enthusiastically supports our libraries and those who run them, not the other way around. And I please ask that you approve that today. Thank you.
All right. Christine.
Morning.
Okay, thank you.
So for the record, I'm Christine Bornand, 1008 Woodfield Drive in Gallatin. And I'm here to speak about my undying love and loyalty to Gabby Cato. She has the heart of a servant and the loving countenance of an angel. She's kind and giving an array of sunshine. I have never walked into that building and seen her when she doesn't smile and uplift my spirits. Just being there, grateful to say hi. I'm so glad you're here today. The Gallatin Library, like Jeff was saying, is not like the libraries that I grew up with, and I thank heaven for that. They served my need at the time, but I look at the needs and the community that the Gallatin Library serves today, and I am so grateful to have that. I'm so grateful to have my community be served by a group, not just following Gabby's leadership, but the entire staff, the volunteers. It provides so many services. I'm just so proud. I have trouble expressing myself to be associated with this library. I have to disagree a bit with Mary Bright. The guidance and her love doesn't just trickle down, it floods. It showers everyone who's there, the entire staff, the volunteers, and the patrons. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Chelsea Likens, thank you.
Chelsea Likens, 618 North Avenue. When I heard there would be time for public comment today, I jumped at the chance to publicly praise our wonderful library director, Gabby. I'm sure I'd interacted with her before, but the first time I really remember meeting Gabby was the first time I took my son to the library. I remember because he was 5 weeks old, and it was one of the first times I took my 3 kids out of the house by myself, which is a parenting milestone. Gabby greeted us warmly, and she offered to take our picture. And what Gabby couldn't have known was that that was the first picture of me and my 3 kids together. So that was my wonderful start to our relationship that we've been able to build over the last couple of years. I'm sure there are countless families in this county that have had very similar experiences there, where Gabby's thoughtfulness led the way. Since that day, my family has returned to the library often, usually at least once a week. Community coloring is a favorite activity of ours, and even though we have to miss from time to time for sports or school activities, my kids would almost always rather go to coloring. They actually were shocked to learn that there is an old stereotype that librarians are grumpy. They had no idea. This connection is huge for us because my husband and I moved to Middle Tennessee for music industry jobs over a decade ago, and we do not have family here. Thanks to the wonderful programming and staff at the Gallatin Public Library, we now have a library family. I think it's important to mention how our library family speaks of Gabby. More than once, I've had another librarian tell me without prompting that the warm, positive, cooperative environment is all Gabby. My household enjoys the summer reading program, and I must say those of us who grew up earning personal pan pizzas really love the all ages aspect. The parent side of me is thrilled that my kids won't soon feel like they've aged out of library visits. I think all of us with young readers, that's a fear that they will not be lifetime readers, but I feel no risk of that with Gabby at the helm. The work Gabby and her team do to include all demographics and interests of the library on the library calendar is highly commendable, and I am thankful. I hope during your evaluation you got a chance to take a look at our beautiful study rooms that Gabby herself decorated using her incredible attention to detail that seems to carry over into every aspect of her job. I could go on, but I'll end with this. I recently had a conversation with Gabby in which she said, "I'm so glad there are brilliant people out there." That simple statement really struck a chord for me because I know that Gabby has surrounded herself with all sorts of brilliant people to work in our library. That's a sign of great leadership. However, it should not go unstated that Gabby herself is a brilliant person and shining light in our community. I'm proud to know her and grateful to have her as my library director. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, James Dennis or Darris? Or, Jamin? J-A-N-A-N.
I think you're talking
Janan?
about me.
Janan, okay. Sorry. How do you pronounce your name? I apologize.
Janan.
Janan,
It
okay.
rhymes with Japan.
Japan,
I don't know what my mother was saying.
Okay, thank you for being gracious.
My name is Janan Doris, and I live at 704 Davis Drive. My earliest experience in the library happened about 1941, so that gives you some idea of the experiences that I've had. I've known all the librarians at our Sumner County Library. They've, for the most part, been delightful people. No one could touch Gabby. The woman is amazing. She is one of the reasons that Gallatin is the nicest place in America. I am constantly amazed at her energy, at her creativity, at her charm, at her genuine love for our library and for the people who comes in its doors. She brings people together. She's created programs for people of all ages. She has made people who are often forgotten, old people, preteens, people who find it difficult sometimes to find a place in the community, find a place in our library, thanks to Gabby. Her arms are open wide, and I think we are so incredibly blessed to have this library and to have her and her staff who are so welcoming and so skilled and so devoted to making our community a better place. Thank you, Lord, for Gabby. And thank you for, I hope, recognizing what we have. We have a treasure, you folks. I don't know if you've lived other places. I don't know if you've visited other libraries. But I hope you have, because you've got something to compare to ours. Our library is amazing, and it's thanks to her. So anyway, thank you for all you do. Thank you for serving our community, and I hope you'll continue to serve it well.
Thank you.
Linda Daniels. Are we related?
No, I don't think so.
Oh.
Well, my son is on the school board.
Okay.
Okay. My name is Linda Daniels, and I am the immediate past president of the Friends of the Gallatin Library. And I'm here today to speak on behalf of our wonderful Gabby, the library manager. Serving as president for the last 2 years, I've worked very closely with Gabby over lots of activities, projects, events. One of the big things that we did, and I hope that you've had a chance to visit our library and see the Bill and Claudia Pereira Experiential Learning Center that we worked with in connection with the Memorial Foundation. It was just a very special, and the Pereira family. This room is going to be instrumental in impacting the community for many years to come, and the vision and the creation of it came from Gabby. She's always been very professional. She's always been well organized. And she really loves her employees and the patrons at the library. She's created a very warm and welcoming environment. And as soon as you walk in the doors, everybody's already said you can feel it because of the way the staff relates to the patrons and the way that they relate to each other. Her enthusiasm and excitement we've already talked about is contagious, and it spills over onto everyone that she comes in contact with. And if you look at the calendar of events that she plans every month, I don't know that there's any library that has more events going on than she does, and it's for people of all ages. Speaking for myself and an entire library board, which several are here, we want to ask that you today, we feel like she deserves the very highest rating that you could possibly give. Thank you.
Judy Bivens? Judy Bivens?
Dr. Judy Bivens, and I live at 665 Bay Point Drive in Gallatin. I'm the director of the Library Science Program at Tribeca. I'm a member of the American Library Association and serve on several committees. As part of my advisory board, I have had Susan Earle, immediate past director of Brentwood Public Library, and Chuck Sherrill, immediate past director of Tennessee State Library and Archives. And we spend time talking about what libraries should look like. We look at the professional standards, what should be happening in libraries, their collections, accessibility, all those kinds of things. And as I've been on the board for the past 2 years, I have a very clear understanding of what's happening with Gabby and the Gallatin Public Library. And if I were evaluating her, I would give her a very high rating. Thank you.
All right, Paul McCoy?
Hello, how are you all? Joanna, I met you, and Jackie, I know you. Hi to the rest of you all. I want to thank you all for your time and your service to the Board of Trustees, because I know it takes a lot of time and you've got a lot of responsibilities. You got 5 libraries. I've been in Gallatin for 5 years now, and I started coming to the Gallatin Library after the pandemic lifted. And that's where I found my community. I found my people. I started serving with the Friends group and started working with them. In my day job, I've worked with nonprofits and libraries across Tennessee for the last 20 years, from Memphis to Mountain City. There are grumpy librarians. I also have been to a lot of these meetings where they have public comments, and to be honest with you, I'm a little jaded about them. I'm like, oh gosh, public comments, let's go on, let's go on. But the thing is, this is what you need right now, because we're the community and we're the people who work with Gabby and see her every day. And we're the ones that go into that library, and she's the face that we see, and she's who we're working with, and we see what happens in the community around it. It's nothing short of magic. I've been to all the libraries across the state. I assure you, what we got here is gold. What we have here is gold, and if you don't believe that, my 10-year-old son asked me, Dad, why are we going to the library? The first time we went. And when we got there, Gabby introduced him to her 10-year-old son. And they explored the library, and he checked out a book. And now he asked me, Dad, when are we going to the library? Put that in your evaluation. Thank you.
Thank you. And Charlene Allmiller.
Hi, I'm Charlene Allmiller. I live at 143 Woodland Circle, Huntersville, Tennessee, 37075. I did want to speak on both library directors at this time. I've heard nothing but great things about Gabby Cato, and I've been to the library, the Gallatin Library, a few times. I love what she's like, the environment there. Everything is so homey, and you can go in and it's so welcoming. The Huntersville Library is also a great place, and I do love the activities that are available at both. But I noticed in the Financial Management Committee meeting this past Monday night that there were some non-compliance issues with the Huntersville Library Director on how things were purchased. And I've also heard from former employees that of the Huntersville Library some other compliance issues, such as like maybe allowing some harassment or allowing people at the same staff level to discipline each other, or and then vaping in the building, and then possibly like somebody living in a garden shed. And so while I don't know what these reports mean, it's just I've heard them enough that there may be other compliance issues that could do best with some training there. I know that she had gotten thrown into her job after the vicious firing of the previous Hendersonville Public Library director, who was protecting her from whenever she accidentally spilled the books. But I would like to just encourage people. We want a safe working environment for everybody that's free of discrimination, racist rhetoric and everything. And so if you could just maybe start like looking at if there's a lot of turnover in a place, especially if it's a new, like maybe start doing exit interviews for people that are leaving. That might be a good idea. Okay, thank you.
Okay. That will conclude the public recognition part of today. Jim, did you receive, I printed out minutes and everything, did you receive these?
I'm not sure what all of
Would you
those
like a
are.
copy?
Sure, yes.
The director evaluations and everything like
Perfect.
that, I was able to get printed
So
out.
there's 2 blocks to be used for each though.
Got it.
So, now we're going to move on to approval of May 6th, 2024 minutes. You should have received this in an email, and then also you have should have a printed copy of that. I will entertain a motion to approve the May 6th, 2024 minutes.
Any issues with the minutes?
I make a motion.
Oh,
to
Erica,
accept
all right, you have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Thank you so much. Minutes have been approved. All right, now we are going to move on to new business after I put my coat on because it's freezing. Okay, so the first new business is that we are to elect a chairman. I have been able to be the chair for the last year, and I appreciate it. Now we're going to move on with it, since we have a new committee, to electing a new chairman. So I will open up the floor for nominations. And I nominate Jim. That's my nomination. Anybody else have any other nominations? Jim.
Nominate Jackie.
I am supposed to come off in June, so I wouldn't be able to serve the whole
You
time.
can find somebody else after.
That's up to y'all.
Well, Jim, do you accept the nomination?
I will second the nomination
Oh.
of Jim if that helps solidify things.
Well, we do need a second, and then I was going to ask you if you want to accept the nomination.
Since I am going off in June, I do think that that would it would be better to have continuity.
Okay. Okay.
It's an artful dodge.
I've been there.
Oh.
I've served my sentence. It's your time.
Your sentence.
Yeah, I've been chair before of that.
I'll accept.
Okay. All right. So we have a motion on the floor to have Jim Holcomb as the new chair of the Personnel Committee. Do I have a second?
I seconded already.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? And you can't oppose this. Just kidding.
I will help you.
Okay. All right, so thank you so much. So
How do you pass this?
moving forward after today, Jim Holcomb will be running the meetings. So thank you so much, Jim. Okay, so now we are going to move on to the review of the library director evaluation policy. And I put this on here, one, for us to review it, but two, and this is something that if we want to put on the agenda for next time as well, because I'm just bringing this to your attention, is that, you know, this is the first evaluation policy ever in Sumner County for library directors. And, you know, when I became a trustee, I found out that this is actually supposed to have been happening for years. And so I'm very happy that we finally did get one in place. And, but in doing that, you know, it's kind of clunky. You know what I mean? We're trying to figure out how to get to a solid policy. And so, and I think that when we created this, our intention was good, and we went off of what information we had at the time, which wasn't much. And, but upon, you know, doing more research, going to another trustees meeting and looking into more, one of the things that I'd like to discuss about changing, and again, we don't have to do it here, but I wanted to put it out there, is that what I'm finding in a few other library you know, counties, is that what happens is that the chair of the personnel committee, if they have a personnel committee, or the chair of the board, if they don't have a personnel committee, actually sits down one-on-one with the director, does the evaluation, then brings it to the personnel committee and talks about their findings, you know. And then of course the board the committee is allowed to ask questions or anything like that. But therefore it makes it for a little bit less intimidating on both fronts, you know, having maybe a hard conversation or anything in front of the whole public. And that doesn't violate sunshine laws because it's a director and a board member. So so I just wanted to open that up for discussion just quickly, because I know we have evaluations, but I wanted to bring that to your attention and entertain that as a possible change to the evaluation policy. So I'd make a motion to open up for discussion.
So moved.
So moved. Do I have a second? Second, Erica?
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Just a quick discussion, you know, anybody thoughts on that?
What I'd like to see is, like you said, this is chunky, and I don't know whether this would be policies and bylaws or whether it would be this committee, but one or the other, is to simplify. We've got, like you say, so much that I think we could simplify it into a little bit, you know, narrower, or take all of that and put it into a better worded checklist to go through as an evaluation. So it wouldn't take, we wouldn't have to go through all of this. And also, I like the idea of one-on-one, and I like the idea of, and it wouldn't necessarily, as Jim just has taken on this, it wouldn't necessarily have to be Jim. It could be any member of the personnel committee that did that. Like, you know, you might want to send me to Westmoreland, because I do know Portland, but you might want to send me to Westmoreland, and I could have that conversation, you know, and still come back, and it would be, you know, it would be subjective and objective at the same time. But it would, you know, you could come back, and therefore everybody could be involved. It could still be one-on-one. So that are kind of my thoughts. And another thing I was going to ask you about, and we did discuss it in the meeting, was do we need to reword this policy to eliminate the staff survey, or did we do that immediately?
We did that already.
When we voted, it's immediately out
Correct.
of this policy.
But
so we could, so you need to retype and just take that out.
It's, well, and the reason why I didn't give you that is because it hasn't been formally approved.
Okay.
I mean, and everything, that'll be at the next meeting, because we did it, but now I have to bring it, we have to vote on it and say yes, you know what I'm saying? So yes.
But I thought that was at one of our regular meetings.
Yeah, it was voted on, correct, yeah.
So it automatically goes away.
Correct,
Okay.
yes, it automatically goes away. And I just wanted to give you the original, what we had, so there's no confusion, you know what I'm saying? So just to clarify that. And then, and just really quickly on what you're saying, and I understand, you know, whoever wants to go, yet in the policies that I have read, I think it's always been the chair. And I don't know if that's because if it's an authority, it's a leader, I don't know why. And it's not saying we have to do that. But that has been,
Yeah. Well, in
Consistent.
90% of the libraries, or 95 to 99%, it's one director and one chair.
Mhm.
Because you've got a director that's over we're a little different
Mhm.
Yeah.
because
Correct.
we have 5.
Correct, yeah, but I just wanted to say that. Anybody else have any quick thoughts on this?
I do like the fact that it's less intimidating, because this is a lot for, I mean, if I was Gabby or Lucia today, I would be like, this is a lot, you know? So
Yeah.
I think I like the one-on-one aspect more, and then,
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Fortunately, at my job, they don't check in with my customers for my annual evaluation, you know, yeah, or maybe that would help me, yeah, who knows? Yeah, so I think it's, I think the process allows for feedback, for discussions of growth opportunities, while balancing the public's need for transparency.
Sure, yeah. And, you know, and just to clarify, and while of course we appreciate public comment, it is the weight of the whole evaluation is on that paper that we create.
Right.
And I think that, that we had to make sure that was in print.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
Worth noting, I do value the input from the
Of
public.
course,
I'm just
of
saying,
course we
they're,
do. We
they're not
value it.
invited to my annual review meeting, is what I'm
yes,
saying.
exactly.
Yes.
And that, and again, yes, that
And there
is,
again, being government, everything's a little different.
Correct.
We do
Yeah.
have to respect the
Everything?
fact
Of
that
course. Oh,
of course we do.
public-
We- of course we
Because
do.
they're the ones paying their salary. They're not paying ours, but they're paying their salary.
Correct.
Who is paying myself?
Yeah.
Nobody's paying
Zero.
us.
There's a zero.
We just, volunteers, remember, volunteers. I was just saying legally we had to put that in there.
Of course, yeah.
So, okay, so, all right, well, I just wanted to, review the director evaluation policy, and just know that, you know, that the purpose is to, the director should be evaluated according to their job description, the previous year's goals, and the criteria. And all of those are put in here: preparing and managing the budget, staff management, professional awareness, collection development, development of staff, utilization of staff, community development, activity and professional organization, policy recommendations to the board, friends of the library, maintenance of construction of physical library, establishing priorities, staff selection, implementation of board decisions, and library use. So, all right, okay, well, I would entertain a motion to put this on the next agenda to evaluate the policy and possibly make changes to it.
So moved.
So moved?
Yeah.
Do I have a second?
second.
All right. McKaylee, all in favor say aye. Anybody opposed? Okay, wonderful. Okay, wonderful. And then, so now we are going to do the director evaluation for Gabby Cato. Gabby, can you come on up to the table, please? Thank you so much, Gabby, appreciate it. And everyone should have received an email with her self-evaluation, self-assessment. All right. Let me get everything together here. How are you doing today, Gabby? Good. Are you enjoying the amazing fall weather?
Yep, took a little walk around the square today.
Do you need
Awesome.
It's a perfect day for that.
It is absolutely beautiful.
Don't make my guy.
Okay. All right, so Gabby, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through the director, library director evaluation, which is a lot of, a lot of information. And then we'll also take a look at your self-assessment as well. And then hopefully have this done pretty quickly and painlessly, so. All right, so. All right, does anybody have any questions? Well, first of all, move to open this up for discussion and the evaluation.
So moved.
Jim, all in favor, second?
Second.
Erica, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, Anybody opposed?
Would anybody, can we share a copy of this?
Yeah, sure.
Is anybody, would anybody care to have a
No,
copy?
I'm missing.
Oh, you're missing one, here's another one. Or do you have both? Do you have two? Oh,
You should have two, Jim. You should have two.
There's a whole
do you
packet.
have one?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I have six.
Okay.
That I printed off in home, so, here, I'll give you one of mine.
All right. Okay, so we're gonna move on. Okay, so does anybody have any questions or comments on Gabby's self-assessment?
Madam Chair?
Sure.
Hey,
I know, the director evaluation is something that's pretty important to you, so I'm glad we're doing it, we're glad it's happening. Yeah, that's fantastic. Question 14, you talked about setting realistic goals for the library, and you say every time. But what are your goals for the library? What do you guys?
To continue to grow and to serve the community and to figure out how to offer more and more resources to the community and to keep up with what they need.
Yeah.
Because that's changing as Gallatin grows, as the community grows, and it's just to provide the best service and resources. And of course that includes books, but it's so much more that we're given the opportunity to do. And I just hope to keep doing it and doing it better and growing.
Right. Yeah. Are
Going
there any
forward.
specific metrics associated with the growth? I mean,
We do stats. We do stats. We count how many people come to every program. We take requests. We keep up with all the communication we have with people that come in so that we can all work together to try to come up with something. But we do keep up with how well the programs are going. We do the same thing with our mobile library van. If a location isn't meeting a certain effectiveness, we have an MOU that and that gives us how we judge whether we continue doing that, and it's the same in the building.
And I'm sorry, when it comes to growth, are there metrics associated with, hey, how we'll know that we're achieving our metric of growth when we hit, or our goal of growth when we hit X? Is there anything like that? And if not, that's okay.
No,
I'm just
one of our
asking.
biggest goals is to actually meet the standards that the state gives us for being a level 4 library, and
Yeah.
we do not. None of the libraries in Sumner County do. Eventually, it would be to have enough staff to be open longer. It would be offering more programs that better serve people. I know we are a program heavy library, but I don't think we're hitting all of our demographics. It is just continuing to have people come in the building more and more every year.
Okay, great.
And Jim, real quickly, and just to clarify for the public and the Tennessee standards is a suggestion. It's something that they would like for us to get to, but they also have been told numerous
They
times
understand.
that there's.
But it still gives us a goal to try to reach.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to make sure that was in record. Okay.
So I'm taking some notes.
All right. Anybody else have any questions?
Well, I'd like to share a couple of things before, we go on as far as, I'm from Portland, but I'm a member of the retired teachers of Sumner County, and I'm a member of the Delta Kappa Gamma sorority for professional educators, and our meetings are here in Gallatin. So a lot of people don't know really that I'm on the library board per se, and I've had a couple of times. One is one of your volunteers that really didn't know I was on this committee and was talking about how the library had grown and changed and how Gabby was doing such a good job, and she compared it to previous directors that had been there and said it had really come a long way, and you didn't know that. I wanted to share that with you. And then I happened to run into, I was at an event last week, and I ran into Mayor Brown, and she had many good things to say about you, and I just wanted to share that with you as well. So.
That's awesome. Gabby, the times I've been in the library, and I echo the sentiments of everybody who's come and spoken. I think it's a wonderful environment. I think you do a great job. The staff seems happy and focused, and I think there's no shortage of people who love coming to the Gallatin Library, and I think that's a great credit to you. Yeah. Are there relationships or areas of personal growth that you have and that you want to focus on in the coming year?
Communication a lot. When I'm afraid, when I am anxious, I get a little short. I don't really do it with our staff. I know that some of y'all have experienced that with me, and I do apologize. This has been a heck of a transition for us. So communicating with you and Joanna is a big deal to me, and I pray on it. I hope to make it better, because I appreciate y'all doing this. I've had communication is one of my focuses that needs improvement. I can celebrate all day long, but I do have difficulty with bad news, I guess. And that's just that's reality, and sometimes it has to be faced, and I could do a much better job communicating it.
I think the last question I have for you, how else can we support you in your efforts as a director?
Just keep coming in the library. Just visit us, spend time with us. Hear what we're doing, and give us the resources to do continue doing what we're doing.
Cool.
In the area of communication and staff and dealing with staff and that sort of thing, because I know that you were thrown in a hurry and you had to go from being one of them to being the director and having to deal with them. I have seen growth. Have you?
I believe we have the staff is happy. They're confident. They always go above and beyond. I've always kind of joked, we're extra every step of the way, and all of the staff is that. They're not nervous to talk to me. They're not, I am huge about having an open door. I welcome everybody, and I think the staff knows that, and they haven't experienced that in the past.
Does anybody else have any comments on the self-assessment survey? Any disagreements, or you feel that she needs to work on something, or that she is really good at?
I'm sorry, I was just moving
Oh,
my
okay.
sleeve. I apologize.
I can say that I've been in the library 3 times, and so far, because I enjoy getting to get that direction when I can. And I have loved the atmosphere. I have loved, I got to come to get to see the summer, how you had it decked out for summer. And I've gotten to hang out with your staff a lot. I got to hang out with you once, briefly. You were having to leave out, but I've gotten to hang out with your staff quite a bit, and have enjoyed those times. They even showed off some cool things in the break room. So I also got to see some of those extras, and I really loved the feel of the Gallatin Library as well. I actually got to see a rainbow one of the times I was there with some of your staff. I personally would just like to be able to open more communication, because I will be just very open. I'm being very honest. I would like to see more openness. I have not felt as much openness to communicate with me personally. That I don't take that personally. A lot of that has been circumstantial as well, so I hear that and see that. But I would want to have more open communication with you. I think I met you at a crazy time when a lot had happened prior to me coming on. And I could say us, but I mean, I'm speaking specifically me. Yeah. And so I think that there may have been some trust issues from the beginning when we haven't gotten to build that trust yet. And I see great things. in your library. I hear great things from what people share in person and through communications. But I would like to see more open communication. And so you saying that word, I wanted to use that word.
Absolutely.
Because I am somebody I'm sitting over here trying, I'm like cheering, but I just haven't gotten to know you that way. And so, okay? All right.
And even to just echo Gabby, like, we are for you. We really are.
We're still getting used to that.
We want to be for you, you know?
I appreciate it.
I see you as a kind person, but I do desire to hear more from you.
Okay.
We don't get to hear as much from you as we do some of the others, and even when we ask for communication, it's not given to us. And so we would love to get to know you more.
I look forward to it.
So, you know, I've been on the board the longest, and when I started in November of 2022, well, besides Jackie, out of the, yes, absolutely, out of the newbies, yes. You know, I came onto the board excited to serve the community, excited to serve directors, and really to learn how to support. And you know, I feel that there was a hostility already created. It was a hostile environment that I actually walked into.
We were incredibly fearful for our future when y'all came on. It is a hard way to live. It's a hard way to continue investing your heart in something when you haven't met people and we never heard anything. I don't feel like there was a lot of communication when y'all came on. And I know I'm apologize for interrupting, but I am going to continue to say my door is open unless it's 5 o'clock and I want to go home. And I beg y'all to come in. I want you in the building. So.
Okay. May I finish? Thank you. So what I'm trying to say here is that, you know, even what you just said, and just using your words, because you said you feared for your jobs and feared for that, and you know, there was. And as you said, you never heard anything, so I'm not even quite sure where the fear was even based.
I meant from y'all. We didn't hear from y'all much in the beginning when you came on.
Okay. So when we first came on, we were just trying to learn, and we didn't come on till November, and the first time we really got to talk to you was in January. So, and actually, I think some of us did come to you did. Exactly. So we did. We showed a support in the beginning. Okay. For you. And so, and the hostility really continued. And it wasn't. It was a hostile environment to numerous of us, and it was to me I think to many board members, and even to Diane Johnson, because there was a letter of talking about how
that was struck from the record by the legal department.
It wasn't struck by the record.
Okay.
So and it was because it's a public record.
And our interactions that she was discussing were when she was the director at the Hendersonville Library, not while she was on the library board. They all were before.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm
Okay.
talking about her interaction with you at the library.
With our budgets?
Correct.
Yeah.
So, and in your apology letter, you know, it says, I'd like to offer the public letter of contrition to the Sumner Library Board and the community we serve. You know, and understand we weren't even looking at firing you. So let me finish my thoughts here. I appreciate the communication about my shortcomings. This has caused me to reflect on my actions and reactions. And I apologize for overreacting during any of our previous interactions. Going forward, I'm hopeful that we can mend our relationship, and I'm open to any suggestions you have on doing so. And, you know, when when I received that as a board member, I took it on face value. That you apologize for overreacting during any of our previous interactions. So, and as you just mentioned right now, that when you get scared, you short, your communication is bad, and you know, I'm going to be honest, I haven't seen an improvement in that, and you know, I wanted to go back and I wanted to watch some of the other meetings that we had, and even the meeting that was just previous. So tell me, how is it, do you feel that you've improved
I
on
haven't
that?
improved with y'all. I did improve with Diane, and we have spoken since, and we will never be best friends because we don't have the same values when it comes to libraries, but we can communicate. I feel continually cut off by you, and I don't get responses, and it continues to make me fearful. I don't know how to feel safe here. It has been terrifying since y'all have come on, and I know y'all don't see it that way, but it is from my point of view, and I don't know how to quit being defensive when I feel like every day there's a possibility that y'all are going to let me go. There's nothing that has ever made me feel safe with y'all.
And can I ask a clarifying question? When you say y'all, are you speaking all of us? Because, some of us you've not known through all that.
Mainly I'm talking about Joanna and Jim. They're the ones that I've communicated with the most.
Okay.
And so can you clarify? I mean, I can give you specifics on where there's been a hostile environment created by your reaction. Can you, at no point in time has at any point in time since you said Jim and I, have we threatened your job?
No.
Okay.
But you're not in control of the way I feel, and that is what comes. I've never been afraid of anything in this library with the former boards, with the former mayors, and I'm terrified of disappointing y'all so much so that you would find a way to let me go, and that is just a fact for me, and I pray I'm wrong, but the way that you talk to me doesn't make me feel any hope, and that's just it.
And I don't have that same opinion or that relationship. It's totally different. Because every time I go into Gallatin or to talk to Gabby, I am welcomed, and conversations are civil, and some conversations are. So I don't have that same vibe at all. So.
No one more surprised than me to hear that we have a problem.
The things that we've talked about, Jim, then you come in and vote certain ways after we talk, and it's disheartening. Honestly, I feel like every time we talk, it's immediately sent out. Y'all use the same verbiage. Both of you have now gone with the hostile, with the tent, and I hear you.
I've not said that.
You called me on the telephone and told me I was being hostile at the last board meeting.
I think what I said was you were being contentious.
Hostile was the word
Okay. And Gabby, not my intention to air this out here. I think from the beginning, man, I came to visit you when I got on the board, and as you said, nobody had ever come to visit you that early. I think we had a fantastic relationship. The collection policy gets passed in November, and then something changed, and it wasn't me. And I'm still for you. I'm still for the library, but it's like visiting Elsa at the ice castle when I go in there. Like that's not great. So I think
I will work on my communication. Yeah. I will. It is not in my job description that says I have to be warm and bubbly.
No.
I will communicate. I will respond to emails. We will visit, and I will work on the rest.
Okay, great. Yeah, this is wild. Okay.
I'd like, since you brought up the last meeting, I would like to just bring an observation into that. I was actually really taken by surprise by how, I don't know what created that response.
When we were told we had 3 minutes to discuss our library and that our governing board wanted to hear from us for 3 minutes every other month was very hard to hear.
Yes, but those 3 minutes are very important to me when I get to hear, that is 15 minutes. I mean, like, of an entire meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And
But
I understand.
the purpose of the entire meeting.
Okay, I understand that limitation could feel differently because it wasn't limited prior. I do understand that. When we came on the board a year and a half ago, it was, each person was taking 12, 15 minutes each times 5. I think that was just a lot. We really enjoy, I've come to your place and said, show me around, brag all you want to, because I want to hear all those things. I want to hear the good things. I even want to hear the challenges. I want to hear how I can help you and support you. And anything I've ever heard from anybody that I serve with says the same thing. I was absolutely taken by surprise by how you reacted last time. And I do understand, I like to share words. I'm a wordy person. I like to enjoy drawing the picture. I hear that. But we really like to hear your highlights. We really like to hear the things. And then you do a beautiful job of the papers that you give us so that we can fill in the rest of that information. The way that you acted the last time, I don't know any precursor to that. I don't know why that happened that way.
It was the 3 minutes. It felt like we were completely shut down and y'all weren't super interested in hearing from us. And again, I realized I did not respond well. It felt like we were just, y'all were humoring us by giving us 3 minutes to talk. It's the way I interpreted it. And it's really hard to want to share. I did the best. I sent my report early and I put everything I could in it. I couldn't talk because of the way I feel and fear here. It was never going to be comfortable, and knowing I would get cut off, it was too much. And I will try to babble next time, but I see y'all playing on your phones while we're talking. I see the computers. It is really hard to think that y'all are taking us seriously.
I personally have sat here going, oh wow, that sounds really
you have,
fun.
And I
oh wow,
apologize
that's
for
really
saying
neat.
y'all.
Oh wow, I want to hear more about that.
Thank you.
I'll ask you later. I have really enjoyed hearing each of you, but you specifically, I want you to hear that. I love hearing what is going on at your library. I care about what's happening at your library.
Thank you.
And I was taken by surprise. I'm sorry for the limitation. I'm sorry that affected you that way. But, and it is thinking in the big picture of 15 minutes, but, of everybody sharing. But, you could have given us 3 minutes worth. We would have loved to hear it. And I also was very glad to hear about what's going on with your parking situation, because we have been out there, we've looked, we've been concerned about that too. So, I was taken by surprise by that.
It was very disheartening, and personally, I don't know about you guys, but that's my favorite part of the meeting, is getting to hear from you guys. And so
it's hard to tell that on this side.
I'm sorry if I have in any way made you feel that
Thank
way.
you.
I wish I had a schedule to where I could come to your library as much as I could, but I currently in this season of life do not. And so that's the time that I really enjoy getting to hear from you guys. I've been able to come in a couple of times. I haven't gotten to see you when I've been there. But your library is very warm and homey and comfortable. I really enjoyed talking to the lady upstairs. I can't remember her name, I'm sorry.
We move around all the time.
Okay. She was a pleasure. But yeah, like, I believe our heart is to just want to know you better and to communicate with you better and to have that reciprocated.
And I will try. I appreciate y'all saying that. I've not heard that before. So, Jim, I appreciate you coming to visit. I don't know how I lost trust when you talked with me about the policy and then came in here enthusiastically and there voted for it. It's still hard to put out in public. We are still getting comments about it. And it's hard to feel warm with somebody that you disagree with so much, but and I will make an effort. As I said in my self-assessment, I am real aware of this. This board is one of y'all are the very few human beings that I know that I'm not warm with. But I also don't believe that's my job, and I promise I will communicate better and clearer going forward.
I just want to, we're all in charge of our own joy. Like, your joy is your job, right? I treat you with kindness and respect, and we might disagree philosophically sometimes, and that's okay. But I think we tend to agree more than we disagree, and I think that's absolutely a growth action. That if you can't be professional and courteous to people you disagree with philosophically, I mean, is it a library for everyone if people you disagree with aren't, treated with courtesy and, it's kind of a rhetorical question at that point, but I'm surprised. And I'll just say, I think the supposition that we're, playing on our laptops or on our phones is
This is for document purposes.
well, and is no more accurate than you being on your phone in the audience, and I think that doesn't serve any of this well, and is both unfounded and unnecessary.
Yeah, well, I agree.
What I see
Okay,
is
Paul.
passion.
Oh, so sorry, Jackie, 1 second, sorry. Kaylee's had her hand up for a minute.
It's okay. You say that it's not your job to be warm. I get that. It's not. But it is in your job description to communicate with us when we ask you to. And that's my hinge point right now.
I would like to know, besides that one meeting where I didn't communicate.
Multiple of us reached out to you about your report that was never sent in several months ago, and we never got it. And that's something that I don't understand.
I don't have any emails with a report not being turned in. The one that we're talking about, I was late on, but I got it in.
I never received it.
Okay. I can get that emailed over tonight.
Because that was just clarification. That was the May meeting. I think that you couldn't come last minute or something.
She had
Is
a
that correct?
training
Yes.
day or something.
And so it was the May-June calendar. And I think you may have included, but it may have been just this recent one in July when we got it, if we got it at all.
And Jackie, you had a comment?
I was just gonna say that I see passion on both sides, and I would like to see that passion channeled positively rather than negatively, and I think that Gabby has said communication is a weakness that she's gonna work on, and I think maybe I'd like to do that too, and work on that as well, and maybe the door can swing both ways on something like that.
And, just, You know, I've worked in numerous jobs. I managed a record label at a huge record label, and I had 5 things that I was managing, and I had a big boss to go to. And although it wasn't in my job description to be bubbly or nice, there was a respect that they were my boss. And although it's not written down in a job description, I made sure that when I communicated with them, that it was respectful. It was nice. Was I direct at times? Sure. You know, I've been told I can be very direct. And that doesn't mean that being direct, though, and being hostile are 2 completely different communication, ways. And so, and for you to right now say that you didn't feel that it was in your job description to be bubbly or to be warm to us, it honestly.
I respond.
May I finish? It surprises me, and it just really surprises me, just on a professional manner, not on a feeling manner, on a professional manner, because I know that there were 2 times that I found out that you were in need of something, and one was the parking issue. There was the construction people parking in your parking lots, and I rushed over, and you told me about it. I said, "Is there anything else that needs to be done?" You said, "Yep, we're having a parking issue." And I said, "Okay, great. Let me take care of this for you right now," because you said how stressful it was for you. And out of respect for you and to support you, I called that company right there on the spot for you. And I had it taken care of immediately within 20 minutes. And then I gave you the information of the person.
But I had it already.
Okay.
I'd already communicated with them.
But you had told me that you weren't getting anything.
Correct.
And so I supported you in that.
And I appreciate that, but nothing came through until Jim stepped in.
Okay, but what I'm trying to say is that you asked, and I tried, and I got in touch with the gentleman. He said it would never happen again. Now, I didn't know if it happened again or not. You know what I
That's
mean?
because you sent me an email and said, "Here's the communication, you talk to him." So I kept talking to him.
What I said was, "Here's the information in case you need to talk to him again."
And I did.
Which, yes. So what I'm just trying to say is that I supported you, and then the carpet, I had no idea that there was a carpet issue. And then when I found out there was a carpet issue, I came to you and said, "Hey, how can I help?" So what I'm trying to say here is that out of respect, any needs, I've tried to help you, and what I'm just trying to say is that being bubbly or warm, it's not a job description, but there is a respect. So, in communication. Jim?
Maybe I just moved to close discussion at this point, I think.
Yes.
Limited time.
I didn't know what time it is, so, all right, discussion, well, we
Second.
didn't do the evaluation,
Okay, well,
so we have to, go ahead.
well, we'd be
We're
done.
closing the discussion.
Yeah, we'd be done with
Yeah,
discussion, then we
correct.
can move on to
And then
other
we'll move
stuff.
on, yes.
Okay.
So I'll second.
Yes, all right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay. All right, and then we're gonna move on to, definition of rating terms, and you guys have all that in front of you. So we can move through this quickly. Preparing and managing the budget. Necessary work is completed in a timely manner prior to monthly and annual presentation to the board. I believe that last year there was a problem with this. This year, it wasn't even really presented to the board. And through no fault of yours, I don't think so. But the budgets we didn't even, they weren't presented until July, so, what are your thoughts? I was, a 3?
Did she do it in the timely manner of what she understood the thing? Because it has just become clearer of coming straight to the board. I mean, isn't that true?
No, that was last year. Actually, last year when Diane was the treasurer, it went straight to us.
Oh, okay.
But there was a.
But that was confusion, right? There was some confusion there?
No, not in that. Not when Diane was there, and I know you weren't here.
Yeah. Okay.
But what are your thoughts?
Did she do it in a timely manner as far as getting it to the
Financials, yes.
So.
And you know.
And finance sends that out and requires their numbers to come back to
Correct.
them. And then they have to meet with the finance committee.
So
it's a requirement
4 or 5.
from finance.
Correct.
And all that.
But again, this is saying a timely manner prior to a monthly and annual presentation to the board. So I want to make sure that we are very clear on the wording of it, not to finance but to the board, if that makes sense.
Can I ask her a question?
Yeah.
Did you know that it needs to be presented to the board?
I didn't, but I sent it out to y'all in a report very close to the time that we had to turn it into finance.
So I'm just asking questions. I'm comfortable with before.
Okay.
Thank you.
The budget
So what
covers
was that?
4. The budget covers all necessary expenses. To my knowledge, that's
You don't have a
always
choice on that.
Yeah, I'm like, funds are allocated or reserved for unanticipated contingencies. I mean, honestly, mid-course corrections are minimized, federal and state aid reports are accurate and complete, submitted. Other funding sources are explored and applied for appropriate, administers the library budget, communicates with the county finance department about needs and or issues with vendors. I mean, all those I don't see a problem with.
I think that's on
Jim,
those.
do you have any problems? Okay. So the only comment that I'm gonna put in here is about the budget is that the first year that we were that I was here, there was some monies that Gabby had wanted, and the commissioners did not approve it, and yet she still put it in the budget. And Diane Johnson from the budget had to say, no, you can't have that money. And then it went, and then the commissioners said no, and then the board said no because she was at, I think it was at about $49,000, and she wanted to be up to the $55,000, and yet she was still trying to put it in the budget, and Diane had to tell her no. And then I even had to join Diane at a budget meeting and let the budget people say that even though you keep putting it in there.
Are we doing a 1-year or a 2-year evaluation here?
So
Because that
this-
goes back to
this
the
is
budget before.
This is the first evaluation that we have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
But I don't think it's fair to go back, way back. We all have skeletons in a closet somewhere. So I don't think it's fair to go back and pick on something like that.
I don't know.
If you just go back to this budget cycle, then, because a lot of that too was coming where Gallatin had lost a position to Hendersonville, and that was just trying to come back from being a one system, accounting system, to getting everything back. So there was some confusion, and there was some, you can have this and you can have that kind of thing. And that was when you were dissolving one system to another. So I don't think it's fair to go back that far and just look at this budget cycle and it's fallen into place.
So this is the first evaluation for her, And so I think that it is fine for us to do the point in time that she has been hired underneath this board. So this is the first evaluation.
I think it's unfortunate that the directors have never had an evaluation before.
Correct.
And so I think this has to be a holistic, comprehensive
Exactly.
observation of the job performance to date. And then moving forward, none of this, anything from this evaluation, unless it's a, watch point or something to keep an eye on, should likely be brought up again.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Okay, so clear and well-communicated management staff relations are maintained. When grievances are filed, there is a clear explanation. Provide hiring procedures and select new employees. Provide training and instruction for library personnel. Oh, communicates with the library board about budget issues as soon as they arise. Sorry, I forgot. I
It's previous
didn't see that one above
Yes.
that one.
What's going on is we have it's at the top of a page
Yes,
that's
at the
kind of
top of the
hidden.
page. It's
Just-
kind of hidden.
Yeah.
So communicates with the library board with budget issues as soon as they arise. This is actually like with the carpet. I didn't know about it until a commissioner called me, and I was like, I didn't even know that there was a problem with the carpet and that there had been something. So, and then when I asked why wasn't it brought up to a board, you had said, well, it's been on there for a while, and it was in some minutes when Jim Young was on the board, and absolutely none of us other than Jackie was on the board. So
Jim was never on the board.
well, not Jim, or Fox,
Ronnie.
Ronnie Fox, that's what it is. But Jim helped with IT or
He was an
something.
employee of the
Okay.
board.
Thank you. Fox. I'm bad with names. So, and I'm gonna say a 4, because, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, I think with the improvement, I think 4 is good, but
Okay.
because I think she's done a fair job with that, what I've seen
Yes.
in my experience.
Provide assistance to library personnel performing duties, communicate with library personnel as appropriate, and staff issues and job openings are communicated to the library board. I believe all of them, except for the staff issues and job openings, are communicated to the library board. I personally don't know when you have a staff opening.
Very seldom.
Mm-hmm.
I think in the last year, I've hired 2 summer people that have stayed on.
Mm-hmm.
And I hire new summer people, except for this last summer, the same different people every summer. It's always a seasonal job.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I would say, I'm good with all those, 4 with the job positions.
I feel good with that.
Did I get all of them? That one?
Yes. No hiding ones on that one.
Professional awareness, innovative methods of service delivery, and technical processes are studied thoroughly. Innovations are implemented only after they fit the needs of the library and are proven to be cost effective. The director maintains an adequate knowledge of current library policies and standards set by the library board and Tennessee library standards. Staff are encouraged to maintain an awareness of technological advances, plan and coordinate library services and operations, select or all library equipment, implement and monitor library procedures and policies developed by the board, plan, implement, and monitor the library technology systems, prepare reports, and compile statistical data as needed. Anything in there that you guys can bring up?
I have a question for you about the policies one. You were just shared that it was hard. It was hard for you, what was voted in and that kind of stuff in November. How have you, so this goes under the implement, monitor library procedures and policies developed by the library board. How have you implemented? We've chatted about it briefly that one time we got to talk in the library. and I talked to some of your staff, but how have you continued to implement that policy, especially that policy, but the policies?
When that policy first went through, we were not sure how to proceed with it. We knew we would have to move books, shelves, areas, make separations, and until we could feel like we had fully complied with that, we asked parents to either stay with their kids at all times. We asked them to sign it, and if they were comfortable with their children going anywhere in the library, they signed that they agreed to that so that we weren't liable while we figured out what our plan was. We have clear delineation. We have taken stuff out and labeled it if it meets any of those standards. Even the thought of them, most of the things we don't even have in the library, but if it even thought about going against those, we went ahead and took it out or moved it. We want to be in full compliance of the policies y'all give us. It's incredibly important, and we realize that.
Okay. I was just curious how that was going.
It's fine now that
Okay.
we know, yes.
Jim, do you have any questions or anything like that? Follows meeting procedures at library board meetings. Anybody have?
I think those have been asked and answered.
Yep, okay. So what numbers would you guys like to put on those? On all of those? The library procedures and policies developed by the library board, I think that you were talked to about that a few times because there was no permission slip ever implemented in the policy. And, you know, I'm not quite sure why that happened.
It was our effort to give us time to make sure that nobody had access to any items. Because we just wanted to be safe. That was our way of giving us time to come up with a plan so that we met that policy.
And protecting yourself at the same time.
Are there signs up anywhere
No.
about permission slips?
Mm-mm.
No. Okay.
No, they've been down for a long time.
Great. Okay. So where are we at on these?
I'm okay with 5s all the way down. Because she's already mentioned the Tennessee standards and you know, those top things have already been addressed and asked and answered. So I'm okay with, and I do think that implementing new policies, and I mean, in any kind of business situation, you come up with a new policy, and several people might do it differently, but that doesn't mean it's wrong. It's just different.
Jimmy, you look like you want to say something.
Again, I think we've discussed, I would rate the implement and monitor as effective as a 3 and probably meeting procedures as effective, not bad, effective, and then everything else 4s and 5s.
So, okay. So 3.
Again, just my 2 cents, do what you want.
For the follows.
Yeah.
And follows.
And those two, I see.
And that way.
It gives space for growth, I mean.
Yeah.
Then there's send directors reports, again, more than effective, you know, one late, one.
One
whatever.
late, yeah.
That's right, I mean, again,
Yep.
highly effective, but can't call it outstanding.
And she was at a training, so it
Well-
was, yeah.
And which one is that on?
That's send directors reports, the library board.
Okay, so I'll put those at 4 or a 3.
I'd say
3.
3 or
A
4.
3?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. So 5 and then the 3s. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, I think he had proposed a 4 for that last one.
Or, yeah, 3 or 4.
Actually, there's a next to last one. There's a hiding one again.
Yes, the ensure compliance with all laws relating to public
There's an
library
ensure one as well.
laws.
So next to last one, he had proposed a 4. Y'all, you said 3, so which one are we going with for the send directors reports?
Which one do you prefer? Which one do you guys think?
I think 4 because
I
it
think
is
highly
one
effective.
time,
Yeah.
it is
Okay.
one time that,
4? Okay.
and I'm only going by
No,
that they requested it multiple, I had
Yeah.
heard that they had requested it.
I'll send the email to you.
That, in this meeting, yeah, sorry. So,
Okay.
yes, and then the last one is a 5, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And then
There's a hiding one. Make sure you
we're
see.
gonna have to move extremely quickly through this. Collection development policy is upheld. Director handles any challenges in a timely manner. Selection and weeding policies are systematically implemented. I'm just gonna say that they're all gonna be 5s unless you say, put a 3 here or a 4 here, okay? So that way. Is there any 3s or 4s in the collection development policy that you guys feel need to be there?
You say you're fully upholding it at this point.
I believe so.
I feel comfortable with that. I'll do a 5.
Just, is there anything in here that would be a
No.
3 or 4?
I thought you just had brought up that one specifically.
No. Okay,
I can say 5. You say 5? Sure, everybody say 5.
okay. Implementation of board decisions.
Yeah.
Did you have something to say?
I just feel like it was so messy, you know, after everything happened that, I don't know that a 5 is sufficient.
I think it was messy too when we had to put a halt on donations recently.
Yep.
Because, there was an email.
Resolution.
There was an email sent, about, an interaction with an employee saying that they were gonna get fired if they accepted donations. And there was nothing of that at all. And so,
None of my employees claim they'd never told anybody that, so we discussed it and I've clarified, that will not happen again.
okay. Well, I'd sent an email asking for clarification and, your response didn't address the conversation. So, yeah. So, okay, so what are your thoughts on?
Which one in particular?
Implementation of board decisions.
What,
Board
any
decisions
specific
are.
category?
Number 5.
It's the next
Board
to last.
decisions are implemented on a timely basis.
They were implemented, you know. They stopped when they got the email, they shut down their donations and their, so, and that necessarily wasn't a board decision, but it was, you know, something they got as a concern, and they did. As far as I was informed, all of them did.
And we put up no signage like you requested, and I gave my staff a script to follow, just so that everything was clear, that this was a temporary, it was being looked into by the library board, and that was the end of the conversation.
So, Kaylee, you are the one that voiced a concern. What are your thoughts on this?
I think a 4 would be sufficient.
For which one?
The first one.
Okay. A 4. Director displays initiative. I would say a 4. Objective in making necessary decisions. I'm gonna say a 3.
I agree.
I agree.
Director's consistent in decisions that affect the staff and or public. I would say a 4. Director implements board decisions. She does, but I would say a 4. And director sets an example for the staff through professional conduct, high principles, and a business-like approach, and I would say a 3. Any, no? Okay. Use of library effectively communicates library services to the public, I would say 5. Proper and realistic balance is maintained between promotion of services and budget constraints, 5. Circulation trends and in-house use are adequately analyzed, 5. Information about new services. I think honestly, all this is good.
Yes, you do a
Mhm.
great job.
Mhm.
Great job, Chris.
Yep. Development of staff. I don't see any problems in the development of staff. Do you have a succession plan in place? Okay, great. So I don't see a problem with any of these. Anybody else?
I'd just like more information on this, maybe in your next report, like, the training they receive, what
absolutely.
you're doing to improve them, or grow them, mentor
So
them.
want more information?
I know I always hear good things from
Cecilia
about
as well.
We
keeping
only
them
had 2
trained.
employees who didn't meet the hours, but they were seasonal, so it was,
Mhm.
they were only there
Yeah.
2 months and
Yeah.
like 10 hours a week.
That's a little harder for them, I admit.
Um,
There is a hiding one,
Succession
just so
plan.
y'all
Succession
know.
plan, that's what I asked.
I just,
Yeah.
making sure everybody saw the
Yeah.
hidden one.
Yep. Utilization of staff, I don't see any problem there. I think she's good with that.
I think you do a great job with that.
Yep. Community development,
I believe you're active
yes.
I think you are.
Very good.
The services
I think you're
liaison to the
you're
community, very
visible in the
good.
population for sure.
I do believe your communication with local officials and regional office is great.
Speaking engagement, she
Yep.
does all this very
I
well.
think all that is very good.
And you do prepare news releases and notices and all those
Mhm.
things. So
Yep.
yes, I think 5's all the way.
Activity and professional organization, I believe she does great.
Yeah,
Yes.
Mhm. Policy recommendations to the board, adequate staff research is completed prior to presentation to the board. I don't know that you've ever.
I've never even heard of that, but I can do that.
The trustees are informed of new developments and important news reported in library correspondence and literature to provide them with the necessary background to make informed policy decisions. I don't think that we've really asked that of you for the most part. Anybody else have any?
Most of the time that comes from Cecilia. Most of that, it doesn't have to come through them to us. It comes from Red River to us. So that could be a non-applicable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An NA.
Yeah.
For all of those?
For 11, both
Yep.
both points on
11. And Friends of the Library, Director Rep actively promotes the maintenance of the Friends group. To my knowledge, she does support to the Friends. Director delineates, Lord, and or helps define the role of the Friends group. Friends group is adequate explanation of its role in relationship to the role of the board. And Director updates the library board about what the Friends is doing and providing for the library. I don't know that.
Yeah, I was gonna say those are all.
for that.
What'd you say? Yeah.
That last one.
Which one?
Yeah. I
So-
don't really know that you really include that.
Well, when the per year
When we
thing.
were doing the
and all the
construction.
There was
things,
the
yeah,
construction.
She does
Yeah,
tell us what
we
to
did
do
hear that,
with the
but-
library.
We did hear that.
So,
We do
you
hear
know,
that.
we
So
don't
it's there
always,
for it.
they don't always do something
Yeah.
that magnanimous, but we do know about it.
The Friends do magnanimous things all the time.
I know.
Okay, all right, maintenance and construction of the physical library. I think everything's great there.
I don't know, I mean, maybe it goes in this. When we were in one time, my husband reached to grab a teddy bear off of the children's shelf and the shelf collapsed. So he reported it to the lady that was there and he managed to wiggle it back up there to make it somewhat safe when we left, but
Nobody made me aware of that.
I'm sorry. We told the lady that was in the children's library that day, but he fixed it up there real quick to make sure it didn't hurt anybody else. So
Yeah.
it
I
was
will look into that.
okay.
Okay.
But somebody evidently fixed it because it hasn't.
That's
happened
right.
again.
Nobody has ever said
If it
anything
didn't
about
fall-
it.
He's a great handyman, and
That's
he's
right.
like, I don't want this to anybody else, so. Okay, establishing priorities, directors recommended, priorities are in concert with the library's plans defined by the board. Priorities reflect advanced planning, directors' accomplishments reflect and relate to the short and long range plans. Plans are updated on a continuous basis, and director provides adequate information to the board on the implementation and revision of short and long-term planning. I mean, those in your reports, and you've talked about the
And
carpet and
budgeting.
what's going on in
I was gonna say, we've heard that.
budgeting.
Yeah. I
Any
think five.
comments from you, Jim?
No.
Okay, all right.
5 down, 5 all the way down, right?
Staff selection is accomplished at appropriate supervisory levels, adequate use of staff resources. I think all these are fine.
Mhm.
Staff selection.
There are 3 there, just make
Yeah.
sure that one.
Thank you for looking at that. Okay, and then anybody else have any comments or? I'll just put communication, obstacles, because that's what you proposed. Okay, anybody else have anything else that would like to go in comments or anything? No? Okay,
No, ma'am.
so, go ahead.
Nope.
Okay, so then, I will entertain a motion to accept the evaluation to move on to the board.
So moved.
Okay, do you have a second? Kaylee, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? So just need you to sign this.
Thank you.
Please give our best to your staff.
Yes.
Thank you for the work they do.
I appreciate your leadership and for you to take care of them. All right, and just need the date. Great, thank you so much. All right. Okay, unfortunately, we're at 5:40. Do we want to continue with Alicia's, or do we want to move this? We do have another board meeting on the 30th where we're going to be doing.
I would hate to put Alicia through this.
I know,
another
that's what,
way.
that's what I was thinking.
And I
It's
think since
her
we've done it
time.
once,
We can get through it quickly?
we can just go right through.
Hey, I just wanted to ask. Okay, all right, Miss
And
Alicia, so
church
moving
doesn't
on
start
to
till 7, so I'm
Alicia.
Madam Chair, can I
Yeah.
call for a 5-minute
You
break?
may,
Recess?
yes.
So called.
So I have a 5-minute recess. Do I have a second? A second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, all right, 5-minute recess.
Standing
Thank you for
recess.
sitting it. You can go to the
Gonna stop the
restroom.
capture.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna call.
Gang, we're
our-
back in session, if we
We're
don't
back in
mind,
session.
either moving out or.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so we're now calling the library board personnel committee meeting back into order after a 5-minute recess. And we now are going to move on to the evaluation, director evaluation of Alicia Neighbors. Do we have a motion to open up the evaluation for discussion?
So-
Oh.
Seconded.
I'm gonna go with Kaylee.
Second.
Okay, second, Jim. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? You can't say no. So, all right. So, okay, so everyone should have received the director evaluation survey from Alicia. Alicia just had her 6th month, which is actually about 8 months, in May, and that's why we moved it to later so that we could get a full year and a little bit more because she literally just had an evaluation. Anything on the director evaluation self-assessment that you feel needs to be addressed or would give a different rating?
Nothing came to mind. Madam Chair, I'd ask the same question. Alicia, what are your, top goals for the Hendersonville Library, like what are you working on, what are you excited about, what do we look forward to in this next year?
Well, increased growth, training amongst the staff to build up their skills. I don't want our library to be a stopping point to them, but a landing or a growth pad. We're also working on, we did a recent demographic study and realized we weren't reaching as many senior citizens as well as just the older adults who may have retired. So we're looking into planning programming as well as providing resources. We did start like with the memory kits that people who are caretakers of Alzheimer's or dementia patients can come and check out. So we're just trying to find ways to branch into those demographics and make sure that we're reaching them. Historically, as long as I've been there, it seems like it reaches more of the children. Last year we focused on teens and really built those programs up and got those consistent. Now we want to move on up and make sure that we're hitting all the different age groups.
Yeah. Okay. Anything personally as a director you're looking forward to working on and growing in an area you're interested in working on or growing in the coming year?
We're getting really close to the graduation of Public Library Management Institute, so I'm looking forward to that. I am ready to be done with some school on that. When I came into the position, I did not have a background in library or library science, so it's been a big focus of mine to learn more about not just the library itself, but making sure of all the different policies that go across and then connecting with other libraries, whether locally, regionally, or nationally to find better ways to do or to do service.
Yeah, cool, thanks.
It says list up the 3 factors that the library director excels in, and community engagement, conflict management, and diplomacy, and which I believe that you are very good in. Conflict management, I think that is something that you excel in. I think that you handled a lot of, there were a few people that came into the library concerned about the collection development policy, and you handled that well. Let's see, I'd like to have a better system of time management to manage all the different directions I get pulled into. Collaboration with other local directors and libraries. I will allow more responsibility to be given. I will allow more responsibility to be given to capable staff members rather than trying to handle everything by myself. And I would agree with that. And how do you see yourself doing that? Because when you don't delegate, then balls get dropped. You know what I mean? And so how do you feel that you are going to improve in that?
I really wish I had a clear answer for that. I'm still trying to learn it. We have had some recent turnover, which has caused me to put more back on my plate. But going forward, working with the staff members that I currently have, plus the one that's coming in, I know that they're trained, and so making sure that they're trained gives me a calmer sense of turning over some of those tasks. Before, a lot of our staff was new, management was new, we were all just trying to figure it out, and I wanted to make very certain that we were always following policy and rules and doing what was best for our community. That I think I held on just a little bit too tight, and now I'm beginning to realize that the team loves the community as much as I do. They love the library as much as I do, and I can trust that once they've had the training, they can fulfill those tasks as well.
Okay, that's good. I will continue to improve my understanding and implement of county policy and county finance. Okay. Anybody else have any general feedback on Alicia for anything that you feel you saw in this?
I just want to say how much I love your communication. It's a big deal. It really is. And I love getting your emails and seeing what you're doing. It's exciting. It makes us feel like, we're doing a good job and you're doing a great job. So I just want to tell you how much I appreciate that.
Can you respond to that?
Sure, yeah.
I do just want to for the record, because we just saw something else, I came into this position with a different feeling with the library board. With my lack of knowledge and the turmoil that I walked into, I immediately leaned into the team because I was told that's what the library board was there for. So it was hard to hear that because I've had such a different experience, but I also understand where she was coming from. And I do want to value that I have no doubt that, of course, we're going to do things differently. I'm a big communicator and always have been. But I did have a foundation of trust immediately that kind of made me a little bit more open to talking to the board and bringing y'all in and say, hey, we're a team. I don't have some of the background and the negativity that she has had to deal with, and I respect what she said a lot.
Sure, and just, I want to be clear, and please don't take this the wrong way, but I would ask that you don't reference anything that Gabby said. Because this is a completely different evaluation. And so we just don't want to carry over anything from that evaluation to this. You're going to have to use it as though you didn't even see that. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay. But I do appreciate you saying that we're here to support you, because we are here to support you, and I'm glad to hear that you felt that. I think that it's a two-way street of what we can improve, and because it is a relationship, and so I do appreciate that. Thank you. So. Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to close the discussion on her self-assessment.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Jim, and a second. Oh, Jackie.
Jackie was flagging
yeah,
first.
Okay. All right, and all in favor say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Okay. All right, so we're going to go on to the library director evaluation, preparing and managing the budget. Necessary work is completed in a timely manner prior to the monthly and annual presentation to the board. This is something that I think that in your first year, you had Diane there, and you didn't even really do the budget because Alan had done it. And then it was really Diane came in and took over and just like did it for you for the most part because you didn't even have any training. This year, I have seen you kind of fall through it, you know what I mean? Which in a meeting that I had with finance earlier, I think it is something that we as a board need to create a policy, a standard method of operations on how to budget and what are the expectations. And what I have found is that, especially for new directors that have not done this before, that is something we need to implement. But with that being said, I think that you've done a great job with that, but I do believe there's room for improvement, to be honest. So I would say about a 4.
And I agree.
I think in anybody's job, if you've got a job of any kind, if you're not a mathematical mind, budgets, and I'm a word person, I'm a reader, but budgets are scary. And the only way I ever survived doing my library budget in the elementary school was throwing myself at the mercy of the finance people and say, please help me. And so I think it's a learning curve, and you finally have to learn, I can ask. And I think I had to get past that pride of saying, I don't really know. You're going to have to walk me through this. And I have seen that happen. You said there's room for improvement, but I have seen growth. So I do know it's in the process. So I think 4 now, and I think that's, going to be
Easily attainable 5.
attainable 5. I really do.
So.
But I do know that I feel your pain because I have thrown myself at the mercy of a lot of people that were numbers people, and that helped me.
The budget covers all necessary expenses. I'm going to give you 4, and the reason for this is because of this whole TLC issue. But as I went to the meeting with you with finance, I found out that there was a communication error in that, which has made me go, we need to do a standard method of operations. But I want to give you 4 only because it is something that was brought up, and it is something that had to be taken care of. Okay. Funds are allocated and reserved for unanticipated contingencies. Funds are effectively allocated. State, I'm gonna say a 4 for those, for those 2, and the mid-course correction is minimized. I think that's about a 4. And I'm only saying this because I see improvement, but it's a learning curve as well. Do you know what I'm saying? So please don't take it as me saying you're not doing a good job, because you're doing a great job. You know. Yeah. So.
That was one of her points was to grow in that.
Correct. Yes. But with the other ones, she definitely communicates with the county finance department about needs and/or issues with vendors. We're going to give you a 6 on that. we're going to say a 5 on the rest of the other ones, because she is, and you put us on some of those emails, and you do ask questions. You do ask a lot of questions.
And don't forget that
And
hidden
then
one at the top.
Communicates
Page
with the
3.
library board about budget issues as soon as they arise. 5, because as soon as something arises, you're communicating. So, all right.
So you've got the first few are 4s, and then 5s are the rest
Yes,
of
ma'am.
them.
First
One,
5,
2, 3, 4.
the first 5s are a 4.
And then the
other
last
5s
four
are
are a 5.
Yes.
The last 5.
Last 5 are 5. Managing the staff. I think that you're doing great here. I don't see any problem with this. I think that you're doing 5s. The only thing that I would say is that I think that just recognizing people's strengths and putting them in the correct place at a quicker pace. Does that make sense? Okay. But I would say 5, and then I'll just say in the comments, recognizing strengths.
Okay, so 5's down, but to continue improving, to look for those strengths and place them even better
For
quicker.
strengths in employees. Yes. Okay. Professional awareness. You do great with this. Honestly, I don't see any, director maintains an adequate knowledge of current policies and standards set by the library board and Tennessee's library standards. Prepares reports and compiles statistical data as needed. Ensure compliance with all laws. I mean, you're finding laws I didn't even know, and like resolutions. So you're great at that. Because when we were doing time cards, she's the one that found the resolution for pay in the county. So I think she's doing great with that. So I would say 5s for all. Anybody else have any?
No.
Okay.
And you are doing the director's report at least 48 hours ahead at this point, right? I just remembered that from the previous.
Yeah.
As far as I remember, it's
I'm just,
48.
that was from previous conversation.
There's never been one that's been late.
The 6
and-
month,
and
that's right.
Not in the last,
We've never had to go.
Not
Not-
since the six, not
Yeah,
since
not
the
since
evaluation in
that.
May, correct?
Yeah.
Because that was a part of our conversation then.
Yep. Collection and development policy is upheld. You did fabulous. You were extremely quick in implementing the collection and development policy and the changes. And to my knowledge, you had it
was within a
immediate.
week.
It was within a week.
Was it within a week? I came to
Yeah.
see it,
was
and you said, because I was asking how it was going with different
It's
places.
a little bit less than a week.
And it was very
We
quick.
had the plan in place as soon as we heard what needed to be done through legal.
Mhm.
So as soon as it was passed, I had people ready to move. They knew their tasks.
Thank you for that.
We appreciate and having such a large
That was a large
collection.
collection.
I just
largest library.
the largest collection, largest library. I just wanted to say thank you because and you were in the process of, I think you were still hiring some people and all that, because you were still hiring from, you know, before. So just thank you. All right, so we'll do all fives. Implementation of board decisions in a timely manner. I'm gonna say fives. I don't think as soon as we say something, you put it in there. So, use of library, effectively communicates library services to the public. The growth in your teams, your growth in your programs, I mean, it shows that you're effectively communicating, and you're using the library, and you're absolutely to the community. Anybody else have any?
I agree. No. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Development of staff. This is where I would just say the potential managers are identified, encouraged to develop. I would say I'd give you a 4, because that's that whole finding people's strengths. Any thoughts on that? I would say a 4, just because she's improving on that. Go ahead, Jeff.
Well, but that's not an improving score. That's highly effective.
Okay.
And so,
You want to do 3?
well, I don't have a basis, you know, but if what you're saying is that area needs improvement, then let's make the report
Do it a
reflect
3?
that.
You're saying based off of the
On the
comments?
scoring rubric.
rubric.
If
I
we
couldn't
want
think
it,
of the word.
Yeah.
that's right.
Yes, rubric.
If we wanted to, if our intention is to convey that this is an area that needs
To work
improvement,
on.
Yeah.
then say that it needs improvement.
Absolutely.
And it's, you know, I know evaluations, you know, are you know, fraught with tension, and people rather get weirded out, but it has to be an honest,
Absolutely.
you know, opportunity for feedback, to help people, you know, grow. And I don't know if the way we always did it in the armed forces was, hey, it's a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
There's only one star at the top. You know, like not everybody can be 5s.
Sure.
You know, and most of the Christmas tree where you hang most of the decorations are right there in the middle.
Yeah.
And so, and that's not a bad thing. Like, that's great.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a 3?
Sure.
Okay. Or is a 3 good for you, Jim? Would you?
I'm fine. Thank
Okay.
you.
Hey, we all got to come to this. Internal candidates for promotion are competitive with outside candidates for position. Yes. Director actively justifies the need for self-development funds. Actively pays for such funds. Yes. Staff is trained according to Tennessee standards. I mean, everything is fine with me.
I've another situation. We get to hear great reports from Cecilia about how much of the training with each of your staff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so neat to watch those certificates or acknowledgments
Mm-hmm.
come through. Really, all of our libraries are really good at that.
Yeah.
But I just want to commend you for that.
Well, yeah. Succession plan. She does have one. She showed it to me, and so she does have one. And that was, I don't think Alan had one, correct? You basically created that.
Yeah, I didn't find one. I
Yeah.
mean, he may have, but I didn't see one.
Staff are aware of the separation of professional and clerical tasks and responsibilities. Peak service areas have been identified. Staff deployed accordingly. Functions are analyzed periodically with the objective of combining, eliminating, and or creating new positions. You've actually created a few new positions, so she's really good at that. Any thoughts? Yeah.
Have you done the peak service hours have been identified and staff deployed accordingly?
Yes, we have a new.
That is called survival.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
So in addition to just polling staff of, do you feel like you were supported during your shift? Do you need other people? Just watching the patrons. We got a new person counter, and so we're able to kind of see better trends on when people are coming in, but
Okay, good.
And I'm sorry, succession plan, we covered that?
Yes,
Yes,
she
she does have one. then those are
You are
the
definitely
fives.
visible to the population when you're not in costume. So, yes, I think that communication with local officials and regional office, you're in communication, prepares news release notices and library publications, if you do that. We're speaking I don't see no problem in any of those. Good with that, Jim?
Yep.
Okay. Director communicates and participates in professional organizations as appropriate. You've actually found some organizations, so I would say 5. Adequate staff research is completed prior to presentation to the board. That's an NA.
Both of those are correct.
Yeah. It's actually something that, again, that we're supposed to be having him do. That's why it's actually in there.
Stated
Adequate staff research is completed prior to presentation to the board. And again, this gets out to policies that we need to review and to implement. Friends of the library, director actively promotes the maintenance of the friends group. I mean, you go to a group and you're having, is it this week that their book sale is? This week. Okay. So to my knowledge, it's great. You know, it's Fred now, right? And he emailed us recently, so it sounds like you are having a great conversations with him. Friends group has adequate explanation of its role, relationship to roles of the board. Honestly, and I meant to say this, the other one. I think that we as a board need to clarify that.
Which one is this?
The Friends group has adequate explanation of its role in relationship to the role of the board. That's something that
It's that one that's indented. That's
it's indented. I don't know why it printed like that. And I'm gonna put NA, and I meant to put that as on the last one.
So both of those are gonna be NA. I mean, no.
The NA is Friends group is adequate explanation, because that's really our role, and we need to explain that to them. That needs to be in a policy that we're supposed to be creating. Okay, and then, but everything else she does great. All right.
Thank you for communicating with us about what the Friends are doing and giving us those opportunities to know about that.
Maintenance and construction of physical library. Building and grounds are adequately maintained within the imposed budgetary constraints. You have got the master gardeners to donate their whole time to do
That's great.
everything for the grounds. I mean, that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And then with your constraints now with Hendersonville and all that mess and stuff, so just thank you. So I would say 5.
Is that relationship going well with the master gardeners?
Yes, they recently got well, they gave it to the library, but that wasn't appropriate because we didn't do the planting, but they received the Hendersonville Beautification Award, which really kind of boosted them and got them the exposure that they need, because they're out there every day watering and trimming and pruning, and
I know that I
we
saw
love
them.
on them.
I saw them when the water, what's that called?
Irrigation.
The irrigation system was messed up, and they were having to hand water all of that. And so they were there every day, just pouring with sweat. So, I was hoping that was going well.
It is great. All facility needs are reported library board in a timely fashion. You are extremely good with that. I know we know what's going on if something breaks down, which is great, so that we know how to help. So, all right. So 5's on those. Establishes priorities. Directors' recommended priorities are in concert with the library's plan as defined by the board. Appropriately reflect community needs. Priorities reflect advanced planning. Purchase comments reflect only the short and long range plans. Changing circumstance. Director provides adequate information to the board. Implementation revision of short and long-term planning. I mean, all that is fine. You have a long-term plan in place. Is that correct?
Yes, we had a 10-year, 5-year, and then an extension.
Yeah. I thought I'd seen that before. So, okay. All good on that? Okay. All right. And then staff selection is accomplished to appropriate secretary and the adequate use of staff resources. Selection process designed to ensure the selection of the best person for the job. Selection process is designed to ensure the selection of the best person for the job. We'll put you as a 3 because, again, you know, where you want to.
Because that's still on that same
15 staff selection.
15, the middle one.
The middle one.
15.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right.
So 5's on either side
5
of
on the
that,
other
right?
sides of the 3.
Right, so 5 for each.
So any extra comments for her?
Thank you for what you're doing. Doing a great job. Thank you.
Just go easy on yourself. Don't take it all and have to think you have to do everything. You
Yes.
can. You
I'm
can
getting way
let
better
go
at
a
that.
little bit. I know, it's hard.
Yeah.
You're a mom, you're a wife, you're, manager. It's hard to let go, but take it, and because balance of life is important.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I would say take it easy on yourself because I know that in the past probably 7-8 months you've taken on a lot which has made you ill at times, and the library needs you healthy, and so just take care of yourself, and your family needs you, and we want you to be healthy. So just set that boundary
So what I'm hearing is take a vacation?
take a vacation.
Don't not use your vacation days.
There.
That's why they're on there.
That's,
Yes.
don't not use
Don't
your
not use
vacation.
them. Yes,
Mental
to double
health
negative.
day.
That's what you could hear.
And a good leader delegates.
Yes.
If they do, and they delegate so they don't get overwhelmed. And so that's what I could just say is you have to delegate. Okay,
I'd only offer, busy does not equal effective,
correct.
Yeah, and that's for everybody, But again, Elisa, thank you so much for
Yes.
what you do and how you lead that library, and please thank your staff, and,
Yes.
I think you've got support here when you need it and want it.
Yes, thank you. All right, so I will entertain a motion to accept the evaluation to move on to the board of
Okay.
Alicia. Jackie? All right, do you have a second? Joe? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? No? Okay. All right, we'll have you sign this for me, please. And thank you for staying later, and
Yeah,
thank you
thanks,
everyone
Alicia.
for staying. Appreciate it.
Thank you, public, as well.
Yes,
Yes,
and
thank
thank you, public, for staying.
Jackie's
It's
gotta get out of here.
I know,
Yeah.
you gotta,
Yeah,
You gotta get to
do it.
church.
At 7, I'm good.
is it,
Okay.
is it fairly close?
It's, where the cemetery is in Portland?
Yeah.
It's right across the street
Okay.
from the cemetery.
So I
I'm good,
will
yeah.
entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Jim?
Second.
Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay.